reports of strange phenomena, ghosts or angels or anything like that?
Are you talking about the paranormal experiences?
Or any kind of like angelic observations as well? I'm just trying to get an idea what kind of a childhood you might have had as you were being guided along and protected.
What kind of a childhood I had while I was being guided and protected? Well, a normal one.
So basically, you're saying nothing unusual other than the fact that you think you were protected, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Fascinating stuff. And, of course, did you then, were you married young, or did you go to college? Did you move away, or how did that work?
No, I first married, I married my first husband, and then I was working at a bank while I was married to him. And then we divorced, and then I met my second husband. And he was the exact opposite as the first one, and that was also a mistake. And during that marriage, an angel had protected me against harm. They came to me, and one angel came to me and told me, forewarned me about my husband. The angel said in my head that he's going to claim that he's ill and to get out. I was in a VW camper bus that we were in, that he drove us in, and the angel told me to get out now. And I jumped out of there. We were parked in a parking spot, and I jumped out, and that angel, I believe, saved my life. It's a bit of a story behind the story, but
wow.
That husband was a heavy gambler, and I truly believe, looking back, retrospectively, that he might have wanted to kill me and had a life insurance policy on me, and maybe lock me into the camper and blow it up, something major.
Okay.
But the angel knew what was to come, didn't tell me, but told me how to sidestep the situation to totally avoid it, and it worked. Thank God. Literally.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. By the way, are these guardian angels seem to be recognizable to you, the same guardian angel, or are they just kind of different experiences each time?
Yeah, they're different each time. When I was 3 years old, when the angel talked to me at first, it was a she. She had a female voice, and the others seemed to be like nondescript, their voices, which is unusual, right? You'd either think they'd be male or female, but
yeah,
I couldn't distinguish what, if it was male or female. So,
sure.
And I've never seen an angel, but I've heard the angels. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just going to ask is whether you had the ability to describe what you heard. But what you're saying is it was a feeling or someone talking, and you didn't see anything, in other words.
Yeah, right. I didn't see anything. No, I've never seen an angel. Just heard their voice in my head.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
At just the right time, obviously.
Yes, just when I needed it. And sometimes I'd get an angel talking to me even before I would need it, which throws me off. One time I was driving in my car going home from work, and an angel said in my head, "accident." And I looked all around, and I didn't see any cars on the freeway. I was on the freeway at the time. I didn't see anybody else on the freeway in my immediate vicinity. And I thought, why tell me accident? I don't see anybody that would cause one. And it happened within 2 weeks that I was involved in a major car accident. So it was like a heads up, one's coming. Not like one's going to happen right now, but one is on its way. Yeah.
Well, I'll bet you get a little trepidatious when you get those feelings and or warnings nowadays, or do you get them nowadays?
Yeah, now I could take it when they talk to me. I'm calm. I'm at totally accepting of them, and I feel comforted by it. But then it kind of shocks me, thinking, "Oh my God, they just spoke to me." It's shocking. Well, to me it is. I don't know about anybody else, but yes.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it seems like they had to think of a way to communicate. This is what I'm thinking. They're thinking that they still want to communicate with me, but not so direct, and they're coming through EVPs, which is, electronic voice phenomena.
Right.
And I get that, I get that through the television. And I'll be talking to myself out loud, and the TV will respond respectively as to what I'm talking about. So it blows my mind that way, but I'm not as shocked as the voice of an angel directly talking in my head. So,
yeah. Well, let me get to the clarification of that, because that is very fascinating. Are you saying, for instance, that your television might be stuck between stations or giving some kind of a white noise and you hear this stuff? Or is it the subject matter that's being talked about on the television show or whatever that you're watching corresponds with what you're thinking?
Well, actually, neither. It's as if the actor, and I don't know how the universe works. I'm not crazy. I'm certified not crazy, just so that you and your listeners know. But it's like the actor or who's ever speaking on the television would respond in their voice.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's really nuts.
So they would be responding in content text to what's happening on the screen, to the script or whatever, but it would be basically something that was going on in your life at that moment that would corroborate something or say something to you. Now, I don't know. That's not crazy. I think a lot of people have experienced those. We used to call them synchronicities. Like, wow,
yes.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how it's too precise. Yeah. I don't know the understanding behind that and how that functions. I don't know. It's just really crazy.
Well, I would imagine you are the type of person would have many, many synchronicities in your life. That's basically what's getting your attention, it sounds like, over your lifetime, right?
It's true. Yeah.
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 Now, let me ask you this. What was the real impetus for you to actually sit down and write a book? Because I know from experience that is quite a task to get your thoughts down on paper, organize it, and be persistent enough to actually get it done. So what prompted you to start this whole path of becoming an author?
Well, I didn't want to be an author whatsoever. But because of these extraordinary experiences that happened to me, I just had to tell everybody possible that I was able to about all of these experiences. And what I've learned from them is, by living what I wrote in my story, I realized that a part of our lives is predestined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that there is, in fact, life after, quote, death, unquote. And that God and guardian angels, in fact, do exist, and that they are aware of us at all times, and that they love, guide, and protect us, even if we do allow them to, and if we are open to them. And that love never dies, that we will remain connected to our loved ones, including our animals, after we or they pass, and that no matter how much you may love someone, no two souls can be combined. That energy is too intense to allow that to happen. And this is how uniquely special we each are. We have our own energy, okay? And also to have faith in knowing that your greater plan will become realized if you keep on the right path to get there. Of course, like you stated earlier, I was on the wrong path. And God nudged me through a near-death experience to put me on the right path, but did not tell me what that. He didn't explain what I was seeing when I did have that near-death experience. But later on in my life, yeah.
Do you want to explain a little bit about how that happened and give the listeners an idea. I'm sure many people have these same kinds of stories to tell about near-death experiences, but it would sure be nice if you could share yours if possible.
Yeah, one night when I was sleeping, this was after my second divorce, and I moved back in with my parents, and I was sleeping one night in my bed, and I found myself, while I was sleeping, I found myself going through the tunnel, and just before the tunnel was light, I could see some light down there, and then when I went into the light, I believe whom I had seen God, and he was standing on land, and he showed me a scene to his right of a landscape and some items out there. I don't want to get too specific as it's in the book, but it's a scene that I've never seen before. It's an earthly type scene, but I've never been in that kind of an environment before. And to the left, he totally blocked. I tried to peer over his left shoulder, but he blocked that from my vision. And about 20 years later, I had actually lived in that scene. And when I recognized it, everything meshed together. The whole story in my book comes together right there, right at that point.
Oh my goodness! You recognized it immediately when you saw it, or were you living there a while and then you recognized the scene, or how did that work?
I was living there. No, I was not living there at the time. Okay, you want me to get really specific and give away?
Well, I'll tell you what, the more you talk about that book, I think the more people are going to want to read it, that's for sure. And I don't want you to give away secrets that you don't want to, but it sounds very awesome, the fact that you had a dream about a specific place that God showed you, and then you ended up recognizing it later in life, right?
Yes. It was highly significant to me. It's like God showing me, here, take a good look at that. And I did. And once I did, he sent me back into my body. And when I awoke, I was desperately gasping for air, so I believe I had a near-death experience. And that wasn't just a dream to me. It was so vivid. It was like living in a different reality, so to speak. But I was still alive and not in a dream state where goofy things happen. This was very deliberate.
Yeah. And what do you think the significance of him showing you this was? Or did you realize it at the time, or did it just become apparent later on?
I didn't realize it at the time, and during the near-death experience, I didn't recognize the scenery. And later on, when I did recognize it, everything in my head meshed together, what was going on in my life at that time. And I thought, wow, now I know what that near-death experience meant. Just all meshed together. And I was so overwhelmed. I was with somebody at that time, and I couldn't explain to that person what was going on because they would think I was totally crazy. But I knew what was going to go and what was going to happen.
So once you recognized the area there, it was kind of like a premonition was coming true, in other words.
Yes.
Interesting.
That was a near-death experience, yes. I had crossed over and met God, and God put me on my right path, yet giving me choices. So he didn't tell me, okay, this is what's going to happen in your life.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He was just showing me, I'm going to show you something, and you're not going to forget it. That kind of an impact. That's what it had on me.
Yes, it sounds like it did. It sounds like it's one of those experiences that you just are never going to forget. I don't know if people have had those kinds of vivid dreams that for some reason just stick with you your whole lifetime. I have, for sure. And you wonder why, because you have so many of those experiences that you don't remember. But when you remember something like that, it's very vivid and unforgettable. So very fascinating stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really it shocked me. That's why angels don't talk to me directly. They know it impacts me too greatly.